All right. Virgos. Forgot who I was doing. Who is next? But Virgos, this is for you guys. This is your monthly intuitive tarot reading. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Virgos. Again, if you don't know what your, whatever your... I mean, most people know obviously what their sun sign is, but like your moon, rising / ascendant, Venus, or North Node sign, you can go online, search for a free birth chart. You need to know your time of birth, exact time of birth and location, what city you were born in. But yeah, so we are in June. So this is the summer solstice. That will be occurring in the northern hemisphere. In the southern, you'll have your winter solstice, but big solstice months are big energies. Definitely, I just been feeling like you need to really take advantage of this solstice energy coming up in June. Celebrate, tap in, do some rituals, or, especially with the summer solstice, it's a time to really connect. And that energy of connection and sharing and joy is going to help you be more receptive to the energy that's coming in, the summer energy of abundance. Summer, for the earth and for us is that time of peak. It's the peak point of the year. It represents abundance and, harvest and just joy and the sun and warmth and activity. So adventures. So definitely go out and do that. And we are moving into the midpoint of the year. So I've been talking about this since the end of 2025, but the midpoint of the year, so July, was really that it's kind of that climax. July is, the themes for July are climax. We're going to hit a climax point, and also embodiment. So June is kind of, we're at that last leg of really starting. We're going to start to see ourselves and really embody the shifts, transformation, growth, expansion that we've gone through the first, the first couple months of the year. And we're going to feel it, and we're going to start to see it in our physical reality. So if you've been feeling the inner changes happening, but you haven't seen it in the physical so much yet, you're going to start to see some changes. Also, a lot of people have already gone through, and I call it burning down the house. So anything that was not working for you, that you just weren't aligned with anymore, you already in a lot of areas or a certain area walked away, made changes, ended something. If there's anything still lingering, I feel like by the end of the summer, you're gonna, there's gonna be new opportunities for you to kind of start something new and leave something behind that wasn't aligned with you anymore. So let's tap in. I'm going to do a little bit of a different reading or a spread. So, and for those of you who are interested, if you're new here, I do private personal readings. And if you want to schedule something with me, you can go on my website. I am going to be out of town next week, so I won't be doing any readings till the weekend. So the first weekend of the month. And actually, now that I think about it, Saturday I'm fully booked. So I'll go out there. I haven't gone out there and blocked my schedule. But if you're listening to this and interested, I'll work with you. I also am an author, a metaphysical author, so if you're interested in my books, it's a series called The Sum of Everything. It is about creating your heaven on earth and really shifting and finding our truth through our own experience, and our traveling and kind of navigating through our emotional body, activating our emotions, our true emotions that are connected to all those things: love, bliss, happiness, connection, from a divine standpoint. So those are linked below, as well as my Etsy shop, where I do hand make stone bracelets, and they are all energy tools. I do energy work on them, and so they are cleansed, activated, and charged, and ready for you to utilize. So I did all those things. So okay, Virgos, let's tap in. Let's get some oracles. So we have Butterfly Spirit Transformation and Nighthawk Trust. So definitely just confirming, June's going to be a very transformative month for you. I think there's a lot of changes and shifts happening and unknowns as we go through a transformation. So I think this trust is just literally like surrender, go with the, literally give it all to the universe, to the divine, and just trust and set the intention that you are going to be led exactly where you need to be. Everything is going to work out. Your life is going to unfold exactly as it needs to, and you're just along for the ride here. Hawks too are messengers, so I do feel like trust in any messages, downloads you receive, or just like synchronicities that come across your path. Definitely really hone in on the little things that are coming, like things. And don't just, take things as, oh, it was just ironic. No, all of that there's a reason. Those are signal posts for you, and they're leading you down paths. So follow them. Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace, and the Fox, Authenticity. So I'm actually picking up on, for a lot of you, there is an older kind of grandmother, mother, ancestor that is coming through that has passed. And she is just confirming to you, she's coming through, and she's giving messages of love, but also she's there, and she does have messages for you. And that's also with the hawk. But a big message that she wants to call out to you is that a big kind of lesson for you in this life is for you to really, really find your confidence in who you really are, not what you've tried to become for everyone else. I definitely feel like this is for Virgos who are kind of shapeshifters or people pleasers. You've gone through a lot, and it's because you needed to go through that to peel back the layers of who you are not. Because I feel like in your younger life leading up to your early kind of adulthood, it was a lot of, what mask do I have to put on? How do I have to act? What do I need to do to make people like me, to keep people around, to try to appease people? There's something about feeling like you're a disappointment, or you don't want to be a disappointment, but you're really at a pivotal point here of transformation in this. This is something that you have to learn. This is part of your blueprint of why you're here. And it's kind of going to hit a head where you really need to start like setting boundaries, standing in your truth, expressing your truth, how you feel about things, and like also following your authentic, like what do you want to do? Okay. What are you passionate about? Like, okay, even as the little things about like this weekend, what do you want to do? Not what everyone else wants to do. What do you want to do? And do that. And you know what? I think you'd be surprised of like people's receptivity to that. And maybe people might be disappointed, but ultimately, like, otherwise there's like, you could be breeding resentment towards others, but it's actually not them. It's actually you, right? Like, you're just saying yes, but they don't know that you don't want to do something, or that, something, that there's a problem there. So there's something around there for some of you. You could be breeding resentment towards people or a relationship because of your inability to say no or stand up for yourself or just, you know, express how you feel about something. Okay. So I'm going to lay down the cards first and then I'll speak to them. Spiritual strength. I'm going to move these over here a little bit. Spiritual strength. Okay, this card has come up, I think, in every single reading so far. This partnerships and alliances. At least everyone but one, but I think everyone. So there's definitely a theme, kind of a magnifying glass on partnerships, how we're partnering, how we're working together, okay? That's benefiting both sides. That's the key here. Is this beneficial for both of us? Are we both able to show up and express our needs or desires or how we want to approach life or a project or a situation? We feel like we're heard and like we're able to create and co-create in this experience. So that's a huge theme. And what's interesting, this is the last card, which I seem to be starting here, but this last card is general guidance for you in June. And maybe I'll get a clarifier for that. Okay, so this first card is your current situation, where you are now, and this is the spiritual strength card. And this is the Nine of Wands in the tarot. So there is something about like you feeling like you are holding everything up, that you feel like you have to take care of everything or everyone. And that's the baggage you've been carrying, because you tend to take on everyone else's baggage. And it's almost like this martyr, this martyr syndrome of like, there's something deeply rooted or programmed into you. This is also a lesson about, I'm also feeling like this could have carried through alternate lifetimes as well, where like you just always had to take care of everyone. You were the caregiver, you were the nurturer, and you just feel like that's like how you show love, is just by taking everyone's like suffering, issues, challenges, and you don't want them to have to feel suffering or challenge. But actually, that's not love. It does not equate to love, and it's actually creating a huge detriment for that person. And it's not helping them to find confidence and power and strength and authenticity. So that's something that you're facing at this moment in time. Okay. And so this second card is actually the Hierophant, but this is wisdom. So this is a challenge, a potential challenge in June, just to be aware of. So this is about going back to just what I said. This is about following what everyone else says. This is about like the programming of, this goes back to like religion and the church and our ancestors and our parents and our grandparents, and like following kind of the old traditional rules. How am I supposed to show up in life? How am I supposed to be in relationship? How am I supposed to appear to others? And it's following other people's rules and regulations, other people's rights and wrongs of how they define that. And there's this I still am going back to this deep feeling of like, I can't be a disappointment. So you could have some sort of trauma wound about feeling being a disappointment, not feeling good enough tied back to your childhood, but there's this real kind of challenge that you're going to really face something in June that's going to kind of trigger that. And it's going to ask you to show up in a different way and to actually, you're going to have a choice. It's kind of like you're going to be at a crossroads of, do I respond to this in the old ways, the old behavior patterns? Am I going to just give in? Am I going to do something even though everything within my soul doesn't want to or doesn't believe that? And that's going to be that kind of letting go of that. And it's like, there's definitely something tiring that you're facing right now. Like maybe you've been overexhausted or tired or just like you're over it in some area. And this is an opportunity to kind of face that. Then the third card here is about what you don't see coming. And this is the Nine of Cups, sorry. And this is fulfillment and wishes. So what you don't see coming is, I feel like when you stand up in your truth and your authenticity and you choose you, again, there's this fear of consequences. And what's interesting, it's almost like still this child that's really the main kind of lead. They're the ones leading your life still. It's like, maybe it's a 7-year-old you or a 5-year-old you, that you're still living in that emotional state. But what's interesting is like when you finally stand up for yourself or decide, no, I don't want to do that. It can be as simple as like someone's like, well, I want to do this weekend. And you're like, no, I don't want to do that. You can do it, but I'm not going to. I feel like you're going to actually be surprised by how you feel and how the other responds. And I feel like you're just going to get more fuel and feel more confident about going forward and following what you want. Because the Nine of Pentacles, right? Fulfillment. What's going to fulfill you? What is your wish? What do you want to do? And then the fourth card here is kind of asking, like, what is any action you need to take in June? Like divine action guidance here. And this is action-oriented energy. This is the Eight of Wands. So the immediate action you need to take is literally, this is about communication. So you need to communicate. Learn to communicate more of how you feel about something, what you want. Engage in kind of, again, that compromise. But I feel like you overcompromise at your detriment. And this is a time of communication. There could also be something around movement, a trip, a move that, you know, again, you have a feeling about and maybe you don't want to do it. And just communicate that. And then the fifth card here is, this is the near future. So this is passion ignited. This is the Ace of Wands. So I do feel like you're going to feel more empowered. I feel like you're going to feel more confidence. And actually, when you actually are standing in your authenticity more and speaking your truth, people are going to be more attracted to you. And actually, that's where people will like you more. So you've created this like coping mechanism and these patterns of, how do I need to show up to be liked or for people to accept me, or to people not to be disappointed by me? But in reality, like, that's not who you really are. And people can pick up on that. And maybe they're not consciously picking up on that, but people may not be drawn to you, or they might just feel like you're being fake, or that's not what you really want. So you're going to feel more emblazoned to be you. I think the more you do these approach little things, you're going to start doing it in bigger ways in your life. And I feel like you're going to start creating more and just aligning and being fulfilled more in your life and utilizing this energy. And it's going to start to inspire you. And you might inspire other people to want to be authentic and to stand up for, you know, what they really want. So it's kind of like you starting to be the example for others, which is interesting. But that could be as little as your partner, for your kids, for your family, your friends, even at work. I think you'll start to, it seems like a big stretch, right? Like I'm going to just start saying, I don't want to go here this weekend, it's gonna ripple out and start to domino in your life and impact you in small ways, but then in bigger ways. And then, like I said, the overall guided message here is it's about compromise, but it's about what works for both people, not just always forgoing your needs and desires for the other. This is about creating a stable foundation and it's success. And it's only a success when all involved come together, and it's whatever it is for the highest and best good of everyone, not just one person. I'm just going to get a clarifier for that one. Heartache and loss, 3 of Swords. So I feel like at the root here, these patterns or these behavior patterns, this need to like people please or whatever it is, this stems from some sort of deep heartache that you went through. It could have been as a child, or someone really could have hurt you, or like went off on you and made you feel like you were to blame for a situation. But in reality, obviously that's not true, but I think it really did kind of traumatize you. But underneath these dynamics is this heartache and loss energy. And I think we really need to like tap into this, because this is going to be at the root of these behaviors or personality traits. And that's where it's going to really help you to, you got to take the layers back to really dig to the root for it to change. Obviously doing little changes, it's going to be uncomfortable, especially when we have these deep rooted traits, or belief systems. Like if you believe at a core, like you're a disappointment, and that's really scary for you, and you don't ever want to be a disappointment again. That can be, a lot to kind of change. So it's going to trigger you and it may be difficult to stand up and speak your truth. What's this 8 of Wands? The positive movement forward. Yeah, hope. There is hope for a better future. You can change your situation. I don't think you have to like burn down the house to do this. So that's where I think, maybe you have this deceived perspective that, if I start standing up to this person or these people, they're not going to love me. They're not going to want to see me. They're going to cut me off. I think you'll be surprised. And I think that like they actually want to see you stand up for your confidence. And I think they'd be proud of you. So Virgos, I think this is the transformation this month is dealing with some of these deep rooted traits, behavior patterns, and ultimately belief systems that you have about yourself and life and others that just aren't true. Okay, Virgos, thank you for joining in. You have a great May. Please like and subscribe before you go. It's free. It's easy. It takes a second. And it's a way that you can be of service and give back to others, because you're supporting me and what I love and what my passion is. And you put it forward and you'll get it back, 3 or 10-fold. So thank you again. I will see you in the next reading.